full break we'll be doing.
That is sad, Tia.
But you know what's really exciting to say?
What, Tia?
We get to announce the winners of the class competition, Hussein.
Who won the class competition, Tia?
The 8th graders and the seniors, Hussein. And so, although we'll no longer be in office, we will get something together for you guys as a reward, some sort of party, so stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for the Penny Wars, which will totally start soon.
And then any of you who are interested in doing the famine, talk to Sarah, who will be getting to school at some point today. And during the next week, you'll probably need to fill out something so that we're not liable. And if you owe Henry permission slips, please get those together.
So I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on the news, but this morning Japan had another earthquake at 7.1. Kicking them while they're down. This is just a reminder that we live in earthquake country too, as well. And next Tuesday, which is the next break day, we're going to have an earthquake drill while we're here, while everyone is in this one room. Remember, think about all the glass we have over there during an earthquake. You guys are in peril, so when we have an earthquake, when you feel the ground start to shake and you're in a room like this, you do what our leaders are going to demonstrate. So, duck and cover. Get off your chair, kneel down, cover your neck, and wait for the shaking to stop. So, here's how it's going to work. Towards the end of break on Tuesday, we are going to enact our emergency notification system to all faculty and staff. So you'll hear a bunch of cell phones buzzing, and that's going to signal our simulated earthquake. And then we're going to duck and cover for a period of time until we signal that the shaking has stopped. And then we're all going to move into the quad and line up as if we were in a fire drill, but we're going to line up in the quad. That way we're not... And that's exactly where we'd line up if we were all in here, so that we're not walking under another building to get up to the field. So in any other situation during an earthquake, if you're in a classroom, then you do go up to the field because we need to take attendance and figure out that everyone's here or someone's missing, we need to go find them. Does that make sense? All right, so ready for next Tuesday.
Good morning. I am in need of SHIELD students. Next weekend, the 15th, is Fine Arts Weekend, and we will be kicking it off with the Ian Martin Forum. In the evening, SHIELD students are also debuting the art gallery. So I will have student tours for donors of the new art gallery while they have a reception, and then afterwards we have the forum, and I'll need you to direct guests from the parking lot to the gymnasium, wherever we have the forum, and just let me know. Please come see me if you're not a SHIELD student and want to volunteer. Come see me as well. Thanks.
Several of you have learned how to do the belly dancing. Yeah. And it's not a pretty sight for the guys, but some of you, will have the opportunity to, there are two more dances you have to learn. One is the flamenco, and the other is an old Italian dance called the tarantella, from which you get the word tarantula, which means basically these Italian people are just jumping up and down, stepping on spiders. But it's an old Italian folk dance. And if you would like to find out more about Madrid, Barcelona, and Rome, come next Monday to lunch in the underworld in my room 12. Senora Whittle and I will be there, and we'll start talking about, this would be after school gets out in a year, right? Okay, next Monday. First of all, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All clear. All right. When you wake up in the morning and you look outside your window, I doubt you see guard towers and barbed wire fences, do you? Well, that's the reality I got to wake up for, a long time anyways, on the right side of the bars, luckily. But first, the setting. My family and I moved to Soledad Correctional Facility around 2 years ago when my dad received a promotion to work there. We found it interesting that the prospect of living in a prison, but we didn't realize that we're moving to a lot more than just a prison. It's actually a factory, a gardening center, a railway station, a highway, and a jumpsuit convention. It was always interesting to look outside your back window. I mean, literally, you could just sit at the table, and look, there's the prison right there, and there's the fence. And then behind it, you see the inmates, and they're playing basketball, and some of them are good, some of them not so much. But we got to the point where we're kind of in denial, and we began to say, you know what, they're just a really bad pro team. So bad that they need protection. But don't get me wrong. Living in a prison can be quite confining. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to do that. For instance, we have gardeners, but these are not your ordinary gardeners. They are inmate gardeners, dressed in bright green jumpsuits. Luckily, they are supervised, but when you go, you just don't want to go outside when they're chopping down a tree with a chainsaw. I mean, it's just a scary prospect. But there's this one time, this just comes to memory, and this is a very striking memory for me. I forgot that they were chopping down a nearby tree. So I went over and I was just shooting hoops, practicing my free throws, basketball guys. And suddenly, out of a large hedge that was nearby, comes a 6'5" Hispanic fellow. He's in his bright green jumpsuit. And he's got Norteños tattooed all over his forehead. He's tatted all over. And on the back of his head, he's got this strange grin that I guess every time he flexed the back of his head, the grin would get bigger. I don't know, but if you look like that, you just don't jump out of a bush like that. But needless to say, I was shocked. I dropped the basketball and it rolled down to over where he was, and I tapped him on the foot. And at this point, I'm wondering, what is he going to do? Is he going to like chuck it at me and charge at me or something? What happened is that he leaned over, he picked up the basketball, and he tossed it back to me. And surprised, I caught it. And it was like this second of disbelief. And I was like, well, thank you. And he just said, you're welcome. He disappeared back into the bush. It was there that I learned one of the most important lessons in my life that I'm sure will follow me for as long as I live, which I hope is 90 years at least. But this lesson was that if I ever got a tattoo, it would be the grin that would go back.
So for my service learning activity, I've been volunteering at the SPCA because I have a strong interest in animals. Sometimes after school, if I've had a long, boring day, I like to take out an old livestock that'll sit on some steps and share its affection with me. Or other days, like on the weekend, pretty boring. I like to go and do like a little puppy that's excited and ready to play. Not only is this good for its exercise, but it helps me clear my head. Animals are really great because they have no judgment of anyone for how they may act or how they look. An example of this is one time I was sick and I was throwing up. My cat came over to me trying to play while I was doing my business. Animals also have the utmost respect for you as long as you show it to them. So, like, if you step on a cat's tail, it's probably going to tear your leg up. For a dog, it's probably going to bark at you, but afterwards, it will come over and give you those eyes and try and show you that it's sorry for how it reacted. Being with these animals for the past few weeks now, I now know why people say, like, dog's man's best friend. Thank you.
Done with college ass, I don't have any more Korean dramas to watch, and I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, like 7 p.m.
I know what you should do! You should come and live at cafe night!
Oh my god, what's happening?
It's the open mic night, which starts at 7 to 9, and we're asking for $3 donations, and we'll have food and lots of poetry and songs, and there's a sign-up sheet on the club board.
Can I make friends from other schools too?
Yes, you can, and you should.
Cool beans, I'll see you there.
Yeah! Yay!
o'clock dance club meeting today. It's in the gym at lunch. Everyone should show up.
Acapella Club will be meeting in the music room tomorrow.
Keep holding crates for Japan. We're still collecting them in the library, and we also are collecting donations to the Red Cross in the little coffee can.
People going to JSA, get dressed before the end of school.
Tomorrow. Wait, save this. Go to class.